Bobby Pierce looks like he's got no plans of slowing down in 2024. We'll talk about his Sunday win. Plus, the Chili Bowl starts today, and I've got some reactions from competitors on how the new tire situation could affect racing in Tulsa. Also, the Outlaw Late Model field grows, and the IRA releases their sprint car schedule. Let's go. It's Monday, January 8th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily. Before we get started, I wanted to give a quick shout out to all of the channel members on YouTube. I don't do this nearly enough, but we've had a bunch of additions in the last few months, and your support is very much appreciated. I know money is tough to come by these days, and your contributions mean a lot to me. A big thanks to new members Kelly, Michael, Dwayne, Kurt, Walter, Dylan, Jeremy, Rocky, Rob, Patrick, Ken, and Brian. If you watch all the way to the end of these daily shows, you'll see a list of names, and those are all of the folks who throw in a few bucks a month to help keep me rolling. If you want to check out that program for yourself, click any of the join buttons on the channel and videos or visit youtube.com/DIRTRACKR/join. Perks of channel membership include loyalty badges, custom emojis, plus 10% off DIRTRACKR merch all the time and more. Appreciate everybody that is a part of that program. Out in New Mexico on Sunday night, we had the second of 6 race programs for the Wild West Shootout. At least for Bobby Pierce, things started very similarly on Sunday as they did on Saturday. He started the feature on the pole, but got beat early on by the guy on the high side for the lead and then faded back through the top 5. The difference on Sunday, though, is Pierce was able to get all the way back to the front. Mike Marlar led a bunch of laps from that outside front row starting spot, but got nipped late by Pierce after a restart with 5 to go. The smooth operator bagged the $10,000 with Marlar settling for second and Kyle Larson in third. Things started well for Pierce in 2023 at Votto, and he was able to parlay that into his best season to date. 2024 starting off very much the same way. As for Larson, Young Money is still winless at Votto in a late model, which almost feels a little strange to say. As good as they've been, though, it feels like a victory probably isn't that far off. Saturday's winner, Cade Dillard, finished 5th on the night in the super late model, but also won again in the modified. He topped Rodney Sanders and Gary Christian. Wild West Shootout goes quiet today, then they'll have open practice on Tuesday and then be back to racing on Wednesday night. At the Chili Bowl yesterday, they ran through a full day of practice with everyone getting in 2 sessions. Things seemed to go pretty smoothly for the most part, although we did have Spencer Baston flipping in the afternoon portion. He got bit by the curb and there was a car around, kind of spun around in front of him. He told the Flow Racing guys that they'll need to bolt on a few new parts, but that the damage wasn't super bad. Baston is one of 2 RMS cars in the building for Chili Bowl, along with regular team driver Justin Grant. The team had 3 other spots on the entry list as TBAs, but clearly whatever those deals were didn't come together. And I'm talking about this because I've been asked about it. It's clear that one was probably for David Gravel, who had actually announced back in November on his YouTube channel that he'd be back at the Chili Bowl with RMS. But just a short while later, it came out that he was driving for Abacus Racing as a teammate to Tyler Courtney. Who the other 2 TBAs were for though, I'm not really aware of that. Racing gets going today in Tulsa for the first of 5 prelim nights. Hot laps are scheduled for 4 p.m. Central with racing set for 5. The Chili Bowl website has 74 cars on the Monday entry list, but there will probably be a few adjustments to that. Some names to expect tonight include Nick Hoffman, Chase Briscoe, Sam Haverteep, Shane Golubic, Noah Gass, Gary Taylor, Taylor Reimer, Joby Miller, Michael Pickens, Cannon McIntosh, Chris Wyndham, and Tanner Carrick. Remember, the name of the game for the Chili Bowl is passing points through heat races and then into qualifiers. Teams will draw for their heat race starting positions and then go from there. The top 2 feature finishers tonight lock into Saturday's A main with 3rd through 8th and a B, and then so on down the order. Tonight's program also features the Invitational Race of Champions, which at the moment includes 18 cars. They are Sammy Swindell, Spencer Baston, Justin Grant, Chase Briscoe, Carter Sarf, Tim McCready, Ricky Thornton Jr., Hank Davis, Logan Seavey, Corey Day, Zach Dahm, Brent Cruz, Jade Avedissian, Cannon McIntosh, Jesse Love, Tanner Thorson, David Gravel, and Tyler Courtney. One storyline that may or may not become a factor this week is the change in the tire rule at the Chili Bowl. Previously, teams could run effectively any tire they wanted to, with many utilizing the RD12 from Hoosier. But starting in 2024, teams must use the SP3 on the right rear. Versus the RD12, the SP3 is a bit harder of a compound, and it's also a narrower tire. For teams that run regularly during the season, the SP3 isn't a big change as it's what the major midget sanctioning bodies used in 2023. I reached out yesterday to a few friends in the building and got some kind of mixed commentary. Some think it won't be that big of a deal, with one car owner telling me they didn't change much on their setup package. There are questions about the best wheel to run, with anything from a 9-inch to a 12-inch wheel being in play. It does seem as though the new tire has a bit less grip, and one driver told me he thinks the top could be the place to be, with less grip affecting the ability to roll the bottom well. These early prelim nights, I think, will be watched pretty heavily by the major players, and adjustments will be made through the week. Nick Hoffman shared an interesting video to his Twitter account where he grooved and siped his right rear differently in 4 sections to see how the wear was during his practices. That will allow him to make decisions on how to set those tires up for the rest of the week. If you are headed for Tulsa, you can watch live tonight and through Saturday over on Flow Racing. Doubling back to some more series announcements, the World of Outlaws late model field has grown to 17 with 2 additions in recent days. The first was Brent Larson deciding to return for the Outlaws for his 7th season on tour. Minnesota driver was 12th in the standings a year ago with a top 5 and 8 top 10s on the season. His best year, at least in terms of championship finish, was 2022 when he ended up 5th. He is still seeking his first career Outlaw win. The other pickup from over the weekend was Iowa's Tyler Bruning, who will join the Outlaws after running a pick-and-choose schedule in 2023. Bruning was the Outlaw Rookie of the Year in 2021 and finished 3rd that year in the championship. His Skyline Motorsports team has a very different look going into 2024, with Longhorn chassis now being utilized and the team ending their run with Shane Clanton and starting a new deal with Mike Marlar. Marlar started strong with Skyline at World Finals last November and has been fast out at the Wild West Shootout. Bruning has shown he's capable of stacking up top 5 finishes, but just like Larson, is still looking for that first national touring win. The Outlaw season kicks off January 17th at Volusia. Before we close out today, the IRA Sprint Car Series has released its 2024 schedule, 32 races across 6 states. They're going to run April 5th through September 28th. 410 Series will co-sanction some shows with NOSA in North Dakota in July, and they'll join up with the new Maverick Wings Sprint Series in Indiana in June. That will include stops at Lincoln Park, Bloomington, Hobstadt, and Terre Haute. Things should be pretty wide open this season with the IRA, as 2023 champion Brenham Crouch is off to run high limit full-time this year. That will put the focus on guys like Jordan Goldsberry, Travis Aarons, Russell Borland, and Scotty Neitzel. You can see the full IRA slate over at IRAsprints.com. That's it for the show today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button wherever you tune in, whether that's on YouTube or where you listen to the podcast. That will help make sure you don't miss any future episodes. Hope you guys have a great Monday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.